Hi everybody, this is Dr. Ariel Ross with Rooted Physio. Today we're going to be going through an myofascial release technique using either a tennis ball or a yoga block. We're going to be focusing on the adductors, which are the groin muscles, but this can be applied towards a lot of different structures and muscles that feel like they get tight. I will say that this is more of a passive technique because you're using something like a block or a ball to help get those muscles feeling a little bit less tight. And when it comes to myofascial release, that is like the coined term for it. However, you're not actually releasing your fascia. That doesn't exist or happen. Really what we're doing here is sending a really positive signal to our brain to tell our brain to allow our muscles to relax. So that's kind of more where that release comes from. It's not actually on the tissue level. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is kind of figure out what type of surface you want to press into. A yoga block is gonna be a little bit more firmer compared to the ball, and the yoga block is gonna cover a wider area. Good for those of us who are a little bit more tender to massage, versus a tennis ball is sometimes more, depending on how firm it is, it can be more pinpointed at like one specific area of tension. So I'm gonna demo with the yoga block. And then what we're gonna be doing is coming down to the stomach. And I'm gonna show you my right leg here. And the adductor tendons run, or the adductor muscles, I should say, run through the middle of the leg. So what I'm going to do is place that block either on the short height or the long height, depending again how much surface you want to cover. And then I'm going to lay my leg over the block. And again, this should not feel like excruciating. So if that's pretty tender, you might have to wiggle it a little bit like I just had to do. And then what you're going to do is try to square your hips down to the ground. So this ends up looking kind of like a half frog pose for those of you all who are familiar with the yoga pose. And from here, the goal is to allow yourself to relax into the prop you're using. You might start to immediately feel like that pulsatile sensation to the groin, which is fine. But again, you want that to start feeling like it's relaxing and it doesn't just continue and get more intense. If it's getting more intense, if you feel like your leg is falling asleep, then go to a softer surface or something smaller like the tennis ball. So I like to just breathe here. The diaphragmatic breath, a deep breath through the belly, helps everything relax and get used to the pressure. And then what you can start to do is moving the leg around slightly. You can lift the knee up, lift the foot up, going into a little bit of internal rotation. Whew. And again, this is pretty intense pressure-wise for me because the block is digging right into my thigh. Figure out what works for you. They even have like smaller, not smaller, but like bigger than a tennis ball, softer surfaces that a lot of people advocate for because it gives you a gentle, more slow release versus like something really intense, but I prefer to like more deep massage, so that's what I like to use. All right, and then after a few minutes or so, you can lift up. And then a way just to see if that area feels a little better, less tender, you can just kind of palpate on yourself. It might feel tender just from the pressure, but should overall feel a little bit looser. All right, that's that myofascial release. Again, using the tennis ball or the yoga block. Hope you enjoy, and I'll see you all next time.